Let's talk herd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so easy, isn't it, about just living and being, is that if we can just accept that it's all there, it's all of the, I was going to say all of the signs, but it's not even signs because that's outside. It's just all of the states of being are there to be lived and felt, and it's almost like everything that we think of outside of that in our mind is a kind of like a track. More releasing. It's like a
and the water
like
element.
kind of, yeah. It's like an unreality in a way that we get we try to make it real by being in the thinking. But it's really just going back to being, and sounds like words again, but
the thinking tries to make it seem solid, but nothing is really as solid,
exactly.
right, as it seems. Everything is incredibly malleable. And the thinking tries to lock it in to some...
But there's nothing more real than how we feel when you think about it.
Well, that's a little bit... It depends which part of us is feeling.
Yeah.
So there can be a triggered feeling, and that is totally has its own intelligence as well, But I think it's really good to also be aware of, because until all of the parts become coherent, then feeling has many textures and almost fragments, And so to weave everything back into a coherent frequency flow is really the song of the horse.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That reminds me of your book.
What book?
Are you writing a book?
Well, you see, there are like 4 years of weekly transmissions archived.
Yes, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
And so to offer that as something that could be opened randomly and read, or read as a self-inquiry of exploration with a journal, or read out with the herd and the horses, or out in nature, seems like why would I withhold that gift just because it feels so overwhelming to write a book or to have a book written through.
In a way, it's already written.
This little me.
Yeah.
It is. I just need someone who can do all the technical parts, because it's a different part of the brain, right, to access how to do that on the computer. But I feel like if you can do these podcasts, and you can put together a magazine, Soul Herd magazine, then I must be able to write a Word document and somehow convert it into a book, right?
Oh, yes.
What do you think, Yoshi?
Definitely.
Yoshi says, Yoshi's nudging me.
Yeah, she knows.
It'll be Yoshi's book because Yoshi started it all.
Yeah, she's such a being.
She is a bee.
Oh yeah, I think you can definitely do that.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like what we were talking about when you decide that you want to do something like that. It's just like stepping stones, you just kind of get taken through the stages of it, and it just becomes possible.
Yeah, I don't want to do it though.
Sure.
That's the it's there is really not a personal desire behind it so much. But it's like music. It's calling, and it's like a call and response song of love. And I want to sing a call and response song of love. That's what I want to do.
Why do you feel that you don't want to?
I find, the world of form to be incredibly laborious. Energy is so, and I love to see. I do love to see the world of form and its malleability manifesting, but in a sense, there's a tedious quality to it that I've never become comfortable or I mean, I've also experienced where that tedious quality is not there, and things just manifest as naturally as the breath. So that's really more. I think when I'm in that place in my own life, the book will also, be revealed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really, I think it feels to me that it's important to be in that place with things. Definitely.
Yep. Yeah, not separate again, right?
No, not in resistance. For sure.
Yes, that's a good point. We are this month exploring with the horses and nature discipline. And I was so surprised when that word came as what wanted to be explored and honed in on. And one of the things that has become very clear is that when there is resistance, then discipline is always needed. That old, antiquated iron will type of discipline. But now allowing that iron will discipline to show how porous it is to love and to bring discipline into a coherence with love. There. Now I want to.
Yeah. And that reminds me, it's a bit odd maybe, but I just want, because it reminded me so strongly of something I've been just becoming aware of with Karamba. She has this kind of thing with her skin on her belly. There's some patches, and it feels very resistant. It's kind of just like hard patches. And I was saying to Kim earlier, she made it clear that it was to be, or it's on a vibrational level. That's where the answers are. She didn't want composition. She didn't want me to put anything on it. So she made that clear.
Yeah.
And so I was feeling the resistance of it. And I was feeling, the question seemed to be, where is the non-resistance? Where is the flow in it? You have the kind of secret is to become aware of, to feel or understand or connect with, engage with the flow rather than the resistance. And I don't know that I'm fully, at the end with it, of the understanding, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
An element of it is that I feel like it kind of has to be fully accepted as part of her and not as that it's not a problem in any way. It's not infectious or some kind of growth or something that even has an aesthetic that is unacceptable, or it has the flow in it is actually that it is her, and that it can be loved just as her. And I've forgotten why I told you this story, but it was to do with what you said about the discipline and the iron will, and it's like the same vibration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Finding the It just amazes me how, when it's almost like different people experience different equations or different formula or different expressions or manifestations of the same opportunity, the same, you could say, puzzle, but it's like an opportunity to sort of understand more. Feels like that. So yeah, because it always seems to be in alignment. And it's fun, isn't it?
Well, it does seem that all of life has a one-pointed focus of awakening us to who we truly are, awakening consciousness. That's really a gift that we humans have, is an ability to consciously evolve and watch and witness the conscious evolution of consciousness inside of ourselves. And it feels like all of life is all pointed, and as you said, individually, with so many different alchemical ingredients, all flowing to the same sea of that trajectory. So everything is a teacher. Everything is a teacher. And the teacher is pointing to back to ourselves again and again and again and again.
That reminds me of a question I thought of at the beginning when we were talking about being separate from nature, how we kind of can put a division there. Why do you, from your knowledge, your awaken, your place that you are, your perspective, why do you believe that we've done that as humans? Like, is it part of our made or become, in a way, this separation? Is the separation there for a reason, or we think it's there, the illusion of separation? Where do you kind of feel that fits in?
I don't have a belief around it, so I'd have to just take a moment in this very moment and just look and see if anything is revealed, like from the question itself. Like, that's how I would approach. So, can you ask me again?
Why do you feel, as humans, at this stage of our conscious awakening, this stage of our evolution, that we have, in some cases, in many cases, created an illusion of separation from nature and our source?
Okay. So, especially in Western culture, there is no acknowledgement of the subtle body, the non-matter of our matter. And when we begin to allow the subtle body to be acknowledged and to be lived from, then there's a completely different experience, direct experience of life than there is from the mental world, the emotional world, and the physical world, which takes a lot of energy, really, and it seems that it has most of its energy going towards it to be maintained and made in ways that are yearned for and desired. So I feel like nature brings us back to in the bath of silence and nonverbal communication. There's this singing back awake of the subtle body. And if that subtle body stays nourished and acknowledged and singing to one another, then the separation doesn't feel like the reality. But without that subtle body participating, without it being fed, then separation is the physical experience, and the mental experience.
Yeah. So then I suppose the question becomes, why has that become unseen and unfelt?
because the world of form is very, very, very distracting. It has a lot of predominant frequencies that grab our attention. And entrain the brain waves in a certain way, and train the rhythms to unnatural rhythms, they're saying. You know, like if you're a grandfather clock swinging with all the grandfather clocks in the room, at some point you all begin to have the same rhythm.
Makes so much sense. So in a way, it's like a breath. So we go deeper and deeper into form, and then we remember again, and we come back into energy or source, and then we go back into form, and it's like a
and we bring it into form. That's like
exactly
the coherence.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can really feel that.
Yeah, that's what the horses have really allowed. For me.
Yeah. And then there's no judgment when you feel it like that. It just feels like a kind of natural process, really.
It is so natural. It's so natural. Someone said, you know, I feel like I'm missing the spiritual big picture all the time. And I said, whatever that means, you know, because really I feel that spiritual means becoming natural. Being natural.
Yeah.
More and more and more.
Absolutely.
Natural.
Yeah. Definitely.
So our horses are great spiritual beings.
Definitely.
Definitely, Teddy. To be seen, you know. To be seen. To be seen.
Helping to clarify that wave. So perfect.
Thank you, Teddy.
Yeah, that feels like big. Yeah, like almost like there's nothing more to say. There's nothing more to say. That's all.
Nothing more to say, just gratitude, right? I mean, just what follows is like enormous, overflowing, overwhelming gratitude. Just gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gratitude to Karamba, gratitude to Kami, gratitude to Teddy, gratitude to all.
Sabina. And Yoshi.
That's why I often say muzzle to the earth, you know, because it's just gratitude, just humble, out of the box expression of gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands over heart is another one, my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like that's enough, doesn't it? There's, yeah. And the enough,
Yeah, that's perfection.
that enough feeling is, yeah, yeah, yeah. That, I think, if that's probably the most, the gift that I would say I feel or I receive the most often from the horses is that enoughness. You know, just the embodiment, I'm using your words, embodiment of that enoughness. And because it's not just enough, it's abundant and joy and love and peace
It's perfection,
and
actually.
Just the whole.
It's just pure perfection. It's luminous isness. It's enough. Yes, it's enough.
Yeah.
And returning to that again and again, the simplicity of that enough brings us right back to our natural self.
Yeah. Spiral. The perfect snort. Yeah. I don't feel like I have anything to add. How do you feel?
Nor I. I feel there's nothing to add, maybe just a breath together and interbreathing with the whole.
Yeah.
Interbreathing with all that are listening. Interbreathing with the whole of nature. Interbreathing with all parts of ourselves, one another, Mother Earth, and one coherent frequency flow into breath by breath. It's enough.
Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you.